Yes.
Alrighty then. Welcome. We just had a slew of issues that were very annoying. Welcome everybody. It's Elite Speculation with Boots. How's it going, Boots?
Woohoo, good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. No construction outside your house anymore, and no.
Yeah, they have left the mowers and the leaf blower that was blowing, I think, one leaf about 50 feet or so, taking a very long time doing it.
Brilliant. That sounds like some good professional work right there. So, a few weeks ago, guys, you might have missed it, Boots and I got together and we did a bit of a workshop, a bit of a speculation session on what ArenaNet might do for the next generation of Elite specs. Obviously, we're going to Canthan, and that information, confirmed now, really helps us narrow down what they might do in terms of lore and what we think about in terms of mechanics and so on. So, we're going to try and get through all the classes. We did Thief 2 weeks ago, and what are we going to do today, Boots?
We are going to do Elementalist.
Yeah, because you guys had thumbed that there was a comment. I kind of wanted to avoid Ellie, but at least for now, it's just so that you guys didn't
Why
think
is
we
that?
just come.
Why did you want to avoid Ellie?
Because I feel like people think I'm an Ellie fanboy.
You are an Ellie fanboy.
I'm not an Ellie fanboy.
You are an
Don't
Ellie
propagate
fanboy.
this myth, okay? So anyway, that's why we did Thief last time. But you guys want to see Ellie, so we're going to do Ellie. And we'll just run on through what exactly they might do. Now, Boots, I have a list of 5 Ellie concepts.
Oh, okay, that makes our job a lot easier because I have nothing.
Well, okay, so they're just names. They're just names for what they might do, all right? So
Okay.
we'll pick one of these and then we'll just build from there, right?
That sounds like a good idea. Okay, so wait, why do you have these 5 things?
I was cleaning up my PC this past week, and I found this file, which I guess I wrote for a project ages ago, and I've forgotten all of it. It's just called lots of specializations.txt. That's it. And
Is this because next you were thinking that I have to be prepared next time I do an Elite Specialization with Boots, and you're like, I got to come up with ideas. They got to be good because he's screaming me on these Elite Specializations.
They are just one word, so if that was my idea, I'm not coming. And I forgot I did it, so I mean, there's that. But yeah, I've got like a section for each class. For what it's worth, with the Thief stuff, which we did before, I think this is pre-Path of Fire, by the way. I have Sniper written down, Ninja, Assassin, Trickster, and Swashbuckler.
Swashbuckler, that's another one that I wanted to do. Yeah, so I think someone might have mentioned like an offhand sword in the comments of the video, and I was like, oh yeah, that would be good and call it a swashbuckler, and then it's ocean themed. And then they could have a new mastery, which is boat specialization. Not
to linger on it too much. But I do think we made a mistake on the Thief one, doing the Axe Assassin.
Yeah, just
because dual wielding swords, like people say, like the whole Shiro thing, dual wielding swords and stuff. I
would still be very happy with dual wielding axes. Just so many new skills for a thief.
Your crazy idea of how many skills we get. I like how we created a perma-involved thief with like a billion new skills. Look, this one will be a lot more refined, guys. Okay, so here's the Ellie selection I've got for you, Boots. Let's pick one of them and start building it. So I've got Arcanist at the top of the list.
Okay, all right.
Now, my idea for an Arcanist is obviously as an Ellie. We've got Fire Spec.
No, before you go deep into them, read them all out, just the words. And
okay. All right. Okay. I've got
then
Conjurer.
I'll narrow it down to like the top 2 that sound cool, and then you'll explain what you were going with them.
All right. Okay. So Conjurer is the second one on the list. Conjurer.
Okay.
Summoner is the third one on the list.
And how is it different from Conjurer?
Well, Conjurer, I guess, is more kit-based and items and stuff.
Okay.
And armors and things.
Okay.
While
the Summoner is the glyphs. Okay.
What do you mean glyphs? Oh, yeah, because we do obviously have 2 summons already, the Glyph of Elementals. Yeah. Sorcerer is the next word.
And when you say sorcerer, is it straight up D&D sorcerer, S-O-R-C-E, or is it sorcerer, like S-O-U-R-C-E?
I put S-O-R-C-E-R-E-R. Sorcerer.
Okay, so straight up D&D. Got it. All right, continue.
All right. There's also the sorcerer, like the ketchup master, S-A-U.
The sorcerer, yeah, okay.
And then finally, I've got the spell blade. These sound very generic to me, to be honest.
The spell blade. Okay. Oh, and the spell blade is literally just it's literally just an elementalist with a sword, I'm guessing.
Which the Weaver has, or I think of the Mesmer as a spell blade already in the game in a lot of ways, so I don't know how that really translates into Guild Wars. But there you go.
I think we could get rid of spell blade just because we already have Weaver now.
Okay.
I would say that to be honest, the sorcerer is really intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different sources that we could run with, right? I want to talk about arcanist. I want to say
okay. Tell me about the arcanist
because I wanted this for years. So you got the specializations: fire, water, air, earth, and the fifth line is arcane.
So why do we need another arcane line?
Well, because there's no arcane attunement. So the arcanist adds a fifth attunement. That's what I've always wanted.
Holy shit, wait a second, a fifth attunement.
Yeah, that's what I've always wanted. All right. I'm willing to trade you, though. No new weapon. You don't even get a new weapon. You just get the new attunement.
Okay, I kind of don't mind this. Although I do really like a new weapon as well.
No, I know, but I think no, and look, it's like you said with the thief thing last time. They went crazy with all the dual skills before.
Exactly. So I'll say to you this. Ready?
Okay. That's terrible. Let's move on.
This is not a bad idea. This is not a terrible idea. I've definitely thought of this a long time ago as well. I don't know if it's gone that far in my mind yet. We could try to flesh it out here. Arcanist is a definite possibility for what we're going with right now. The one thing I've thought about for maybe an elite specialization as a mechanic to add to Ellie is now that they have a second weapon set, what about giving them weapon swap?
In combat. Well, I like that idea as like a principle kind of thing, but I don't know if that's healthy for the game.
That's it. So it's not very healthy for the game unless you put like a 20-second cooldown on the weapon swap.
I kind of like that. I've always thought that longer weapon swap cooldowns might lead to a more interesting strategy experience of the game, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. So like you have a 20-second cooldown on the weapon swap, and then because that's kind of still very powerful, they would need to do the old elite specialization trade-offs, right? They'd have to do something to make it worse than base Ellie.
But I don't know. The only other thing I don't like about this is I don't think it's shiny enough. I really look at the community as like, very young. You got to jingle the keys in their face. You got to really get their attention and captivate them. And I don't think that people are going to be interested in. I mean, from a purely nerd mechanics standpoint, I think that'd be really interesting. But I don't know whether they could sell that.
You're right. Let's go with the arcanist and let's add a fifth arcane.
Well, hold on. I've got a new idea.
Uh-oh. Okay.
That's more Canthan related.
Okay.
What about the dragon?
Wait.
We already had Dragon Hunter, all right? So don't give me any of that nonsense about the name. But listen, dragons are a big part of Canthan, okay? There's a story in the lore.
I mean, dragons are a big part of everywhere in Tyria.
Well, there's a story in the lore of Tamu, an accomplished elementalist, who I think she was even supposed to be an empress, which is weird because there aren't any empresses there. Maybe this predates the Empire. But anyway, she died and became a celestial dragon. So maybe it's like, we are Tamu in some way, Maybe we are... Maybe this is a Revy thing as well, actually. But Rev, come on, we got to do Togo on the Rev episode. So anyway, I'm thinking the dragon, and we're using like all dragon-themed abilities. Because there's like different elemental dragons and drakes and stuff.
Dragon-themed abilities that are part of the fifth attunement?
I don't know whether we have a fifth attunement anymore. I'm just saying that. I think that's that's a...
Okay, so these are two different things. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Dragon attunement.
What if we do something kind of like what you're going with Tamu, but with it's like celestial magic, like...
Oh, okay, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, kind of an arcanist feel to it, but celestial magic.
So you want a celestial attunement?
Yeah, or a celestial attunement.
I like, how Weaver's Elite, where you have to cycle through all the attunements before you unlock the flip over.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a fifth attunement that is that. It's like a really
only unlocks once you've been through all the other achievements.
Yeah, and maybe this 5th achievement doesn't actually have weapon association, maybe. So it ends up feeling a bit like, it's going to feel a bit
it's just
revy.
basic. So like you only get 5 skills. You don't get. Hold on a second though. What the druid? What is the form called?
Celestial. Druid? Oh yeah, no, they've already done CA. Celestial Avatar.
Yeah.
So maybe you can't do that.
Maybe we can't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, eventually though. I mean, look, in another 6 years, Boots, we'll be doing another series of this. We'll be crossing over eventually. So why not just go for it now?
It really does seem like the druid should have been in Canthan expansion. Yes,
it does in a way. It feels weird to me as well because the druid visual theming is not exactly. It's not the same kind of color scheme. It's like a darker kind of, more purpley kind of celestial. While the celestial stuff in Canthan in the original game was golden and stuff.
Yeah.
So
okay, all right, hold on. We got to go back to the Elementalist. What do we have? We have the Arcanist, which is not very Cantha themed, but it's a nice idea. We have the Dragon, which is very specific to a certain thing in Cantha, I suppose.
Well, but all of Cantha's about the dragons. It doesn't have to. Give me a better name than Dragon then. What else have you got? The Dragoon, but that's too. That's warriory.
So what Elementalists besides Tamu were there in the Cantha expansion?
I've got it. I've got it. The Drake Heart.
Oh, I like that.
Really?
I kind of do. It's better than the dragon.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. As for other prominent Ellies, I'm kind of struggling to think. I mean, there was a huge cast in Guild Wars 1. There's like all the students, and then there's the headmasters, and then there's the denizens of Ekavald, Jade Sea, and Kaineng. Like, they swapped the henchmen and stuff over and over and over again. In the Winds of Change campaign, I don't really remember any prominent Elementalists there, but I'm due for a replay on that. Keep an eye out for that on the channel at some point, guys. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Elementalists didn't play a huge role as a thing in Cantha.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
were there interesting like Luxin or Kurzik Elementalists?
Well, look, this brings me back to the dragon thing because the salt sprays were the most interesting Elementalists there. They used like Ride the Lightning to charge in on you, and then they'd cast Inferno and explode around them, and they'd use Starburst. There was an elite skill in Cantha called Double Dragon.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And that got a rework. It became a dual cast ability. I actually did a whole hero comp on that earlier in the year, guys. You can check that out.
So instead of Drakeheart, we could just call it Dragonheart, and then we could add Sean Connery into it as a voice actor.
I was gonna say, we're gonna get copyrighted of some kind of infringement.
And then Bubbles, the sea dragon, after we kill Jormag, will go, "I am the last one."
Dude, I love those movies. I watched them recently. They're very cheesy, though.
Yeah, I like the first one. I don't know if I saw any of the other ones.
I think there's 2 more, and I think they're very, very low budget, maybe straight to video movies.
Yeah.
All right, so call it the. I want to go Drakeheart, not Dragonheart.
Okay, fine. Let's go Drakeheart.
Okay.
Or we could call it Double Dragon.
No, that's ridiculous. Don't call it a Double Dragon.
But that'll be an elite skill.
Okay, so next we've got our theme, we've got a name.
Oh wait, hold on, I gotta write these things down. I forgot that my job is drawing I'm just terribly with a mouse.
I'm getting the. Oh, we don't have the tablet set up still.
Nope, we do not. We lent it out.
I'm all right. I'm happy to go janky with it. So the weapon is the next thing really to think about. Now, what kind of niches does Elementalist not have filled? It's a tricky one because
they have all of those conjure weapons, which fill out the ones that they don't have already.
Do you believe that they can't cross that line then? Is that why they went sword in POF, for example?
I think it's one of the reasons they can't cross that line, yeah. I think they shouldn't cross the line just so that they continue with what they've already put forth.
Well, I've got a good idea for weapon, I think, so I'll let you give yours first before I blow it out of the water with mine.
All right. Let's see. Trident.
Oh, no. Okay, all right. Maybe you're right. Maybe yours is better than mine, actually.
Okay, what's yours?
Well, so what did we just have added to the game? The Sunqua Peak. The final boss is an Elementalist. She's dual wielding.
She's got double daggers or double swords?
There's swords, I think. Now, we couldn't ever get that. I don't think.
Because we have because we have an elite spec with one sword. You can't add 2 swords to another elite spec and just completely trump the Weaver.
Well, I don't know whether it would. I mean, these are such complicated things. I don't know if it would trump it, but it would be weird, right? Because would the Drakeheart get Weaver sword abilities or new? I mean, it's just crazy. I don't think, but I think we could get offhand sword anyway, and then that still leaves you space to do dagger sword instead of sword dagger, which the Weaver does. I mean, maybe it's a bit arbitrary. Maybe this isn't good.
Yeah, maybe we go with the trident.
All right, so we're going crazy. This is a little bit more fantasy now, right? Because if we do trident, there is no sign so far that they're willing to do that. In neither of the other expansions have they gone, even though this seems like obvious low-hanging
so if we
fruit.
don't go, even though it's a good idea, if we don't go that far, what land-based weapon could we do except for offhand sword?
Okay, so that takes us back to the conjure weapon thing. Because
so we can't do greatsword. We can't do longbow.
Or shortbow. I mean, the ice bow's weird in that it's kind of it has shortbowy things.
It's a longbow, though. It's a longbow.
No, it's not. There's Mystic Forge skin equivalents as both long and short. And it has Ranger shortbow reminiscent stuff, and it has, like, the 5 is basically shortbow 5.
Is it?
From behind, yeah. And the 3 is basically shortbow 2, I think.
But the 4 is longbow.
Yeah, but the 4 is longbow 5. It's a hybrid. It could be either. And there's two different things.
I want to say it's a longbow, so I'm still leaving shortbow there as
well. Why? No, you can't do that. How? You got to justify that.
Just because it's longbow? Because the icy longbow, ice bow, whatever, is it's very slow compared to what a shortbow should be.
I don't know, man. I think you're just hung up on Froststorm because of how game balance and implementation went in the end.
Yeah, I think it's slower than a short bow. I think it's a longbow.
Even with the 2 volley? I mean, that's basically longbow 2. It's a question of range more than anything else, and this is 900 range, not 1200 range, Boots.
Oh, is that what you're saying? Okay.
Well, no, I'm saying all of it. I'm just giving you even more now.
Is the whole thing only 900 range?
Yeah, it's all. Well, the back half of the Froststorm can go up to like 1100 or whatever.
All right, okay, so we're bypassing the bows for now because they may or may not be taken.
All right, yeah. Well, see, I don't know whether I want to because the shield is cool. I like shield, man.
Shield is cool.
And what's amazing already about Ellie is they get main hand shield.
It's true, but it's not like you could do double wielding shield.
Well, oh, dude, what if it was that? What if we scrap all of it and we do the Conjurer, and now you get the Conjure weapons regularly and you can like combo them with other weapons and stuff like that? What if, you do the Conjurer and they don't get just one weapon, they get 5. They get all of their Conjure weapons permanently. And then they remove the old Conjure weapons because they're not interesting anymore, and Core Ellie gets 5 new regular abilities.
I think this is a fantastic idea.
And that adds your weapon swap idea as well, Boots. And then you put weapon swap on it.
Okay, so we're giving Elementalists 400 new skills.
No. They're all the existing skills. They're just, fixed up.
Oh, okay. All right.
But they could do that concept somewhere else in the pantheon of classes. They could do that concept for racial abilities as well.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a spec that actually lets you use all the Norn forms, but properly.
And they're actually like slightly better than they are right now.
I'm baiting the comments into having a long discussion that I've had a million times already about, but Aethera can't be bear form and all that kind of stuff. So let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Okay, so let's continue with the weapons though, putting aside the conjurer stuff.
Okay.
So still we can't do axe.
No, because flame axe.
Yeah, flame axe. We can't do bows.
Can't do sword because we've already had that. Can't do warhorn. Torch. Torch is what you're left with, pretty much.
Torch or mace or hammer. Hammer.
Oh, good point. Good point. Why did my mind go to torch before hammer and mace?
I don't know. Or
mace.
Guns.
I'm going to argue for
guns?
mace, Boots. I think mace because it's less skills but to do with the achievement system, and also mace is like a really rare weapon in the game. Isn't it literally just the heavies that get mace? That's it.
pretty much, yeah.
So no one else has ever been able to use it, so let's put it on the squishiest thing in the game instead. Awesome.
Yeah, even an NG can't use mace, which is weird.
Yeah, they kind of get toolkit, which is sort of macey-ish a bit. Not really, but... Alright, and they kind of mace shield on toolkit in a weird way.
Yeah,
right,
but
so
is mace something that like we want on an elementalist?
I don't know whether it fits the Drake heart, but then I don't think that matters too much a lot of the time as well. It just depends what...
Yeah, but I don't want to showhorn everything. I want things to feel good, you know?
Well, but you got to look at the house style. You got to look at what they've done. You know, I'm wielding a dagger in air attunement. Why do I get a lightning whip? Why does that give me shocking aura? You know, they're not they're not really interconnected, are they? We're a spellcaster. We're just using it as a conduit for spells. So whatever, do you know what I mean? Also, by the way, bit of a problem. We already have Drake's Breath on dagger main hand. Do we want to do mace main or off?
I also feel like... Oh, no, I guess they don't need another offhand because they have Tempest.
I think the mace should be offhand, and it should be really, really well synergizing with dagger main hand, so that you have a Drake's Breath build where you're using
But we don't have enough things that synergize well with Scepter.
That's a good point as well. Hey, what about a really long-ranged offhand, then? A 1200 range offhand? That leads us back to Torch, I've got to say. Plus Torch, Fire, Dragons, Drakes.
True. But we don't have Torch. It makes sense, actually. Torch, I think, makes the most sense for this.
All right. Let's do... People were talking about Torch beforehand, before the Weaver came out as well. I think we should do Torch. There's no conjure weapon overlap or whatever. It fits with the dragon
theme. We don't have to
theme.
make them do an insane amount of skills.
Yeah. And also, you know, there's dragony stuff on Scepter, so like the dragon's tooth, right?
Yeah.
So we make something that complements Scepter in a nice way.
Yeah.
Scepter, I think, is a misunderstood weapon on Elite a lot of the time. Because it's actually like, if you want to make it a damage weapon, you can hyper specialize it as like a spiky damage thing.
It's a good
Or
damage,
you can, it's actually a really good support weapon as well. People don't appreciate at all how strong like the Water Trident is, for example. And how useful the blinds are. And also, it can be a really tanky weapon too. Again, because of the blinds and the toughness and stuff. So.
Yeah, and it's great that you have the range on it too, so you could like play however you want with it.
Yeah, so what do you think? Torch at 1200 range?
Torch at 900 range.
You think 900? I just don't want it to feel too much like Necro Torch. I guess Necro in Scourge has only got 2 skills, and we're going to be building...
Yeah, we have a lot of options, and they don't all have to be the same range.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. All right, well, there you go. So we're not in our discussion going to be going through making every single skill, but you got maybe an idea for at least 1 or 2?
Well, I think if we're doing Drakeheart, we got to have some sort of breath going on with the torch. Like you put the torch in front of your face and you breathe and stuff comes out.
Yeah.
So I know that...
Isn't that a bit like Fire Dagger 2, though?
Yeah, Dagger 2 already has that.
And is called similarly.
Yeah. But maybe the other elements.
The thing I like about Torch most boots on an Ellie is like that it's kind of a steam weapon when it's in water attunement. And
Makes
it's
sense.
kind of, what is it in Earth? Like molten magma-y, maybe? And plasma-y. I mean, yeah, and actually I kind of like that as well because the Weaver introduced these interesting ideas of like plasma skills and stuff, but they're only on the Weaver at the moment. I think we could get plasma stuff back on the Drake.
By having a torch. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So you can kind of get that plasma theme returning. I don't know whether you can get like that whole mudslide theme returning because that was kind of another weird fringe thing in the baked into the Weaver. But I think the devs should do that. They should like key into those visuals and stuff at least. And yeah, so it's something that complements that kind of mid-range.
Do we have Magma Orb in the game?
Yeah, I think an underwater skill is called Magma Orb.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think. Or maybe that's Magma Chains, Boil. Is Magma Orb the auto in Fire Trident? Actually, I can look. I'm in game, obviously. And I can go to an area of the UI that I so rarely do.
Okay, so hold on. We got Drakeheart, dragon-themed Elementalist, and we've got a torch as the weapon.
Okay.
Torch. And in Fire, it'll be Super Fire.
Yeah, the auto's Magma Orb.
In Earth, we got Magma stuff. Jesus, this is so bad.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
Water, we got Steam. And then in lightning, what is it? Plasma.
Plasma, yeah.
It's Oh, Jesus. If anyone could read this, I'm impressed.
There should be a challenge where someone links this video and tells them to mute it. Try to follow along. Right, that's what you should be able to do with good seminars and stuff, right?
Yeah. Okay, so hold on. Just having a torch and themes being dragon themed does not an elite specialization make. So like we need to actually come up with a good mechanic for this thing.
Okay, so overloads have kind of already been done. Mixing achievements have been done.
Mm-hmm.
The core, the weird thing about Ellie is the core class kind of already has so many facets and like things that you can interact with, you know?
Yeah. Weapon swap.
Yeah, but how does that tie in? I'm up for it, Boots, but how does it tie in? Also, is it flashy? Is it flashy enough?
It's not that flashy.
You know, I just like the idea of having a new attunement so much. I would even remove an attunement in order to get a new one. Do you know what I mean? Maybe the Drake heart isn't allowed Earth. Maybe that's too protective or whatever. So bye-bye, but you do get dragon attunement or something.
I don't think that's a good idea.
You're very against it. It's interesting.
Well, just because it like makes an entire core line go away.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, only in some respects.
In a lot of respects.
I liked the idea as well that it was for the arcanist that you choose elite spec is arcanist, so that's at the bottom. That gives you the arcane attunement, and then the other two specs you pick, those are your other two attunements. So if I'm Earth, Water, Arcanist, my attunements available are Earth, Water, and Arcane.
So
but if I'm Fire, Air, and Arcanist, I get Fire, Air, and Arcane.
What if you're Fire, Arcane, and Arcanist?
Then you just have Fire and Arcane. You just get two attunements. Which is fine because there's so many options. Some of them can be a little bit fringe and weird. I think that's fine.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I mean, anyway,
that's crazy. That's just crazy enough it might work.
Yeah, I like it. That's always been my mechanic idea. I think we might have done that on a previous season. It doesn't really have a dragon synergy though.
Okay, hold on a second though. That means if you're so specialized into fire and arcane, it's got to be pretty good, right?
This is the way your mind works. You just look for the really niche fringe thing and you want to talk about that. We're building a whole spec here, Boots, all right? We can figure out what compensates people for that later, I suppose, Arcane's a strong enough line anyway. But I don't know. I don't know whether that should be our mechanic. And I don't know whether just weapon swap on its own should be our mechanic.
Mm-hmm. So it's called Drake Heart.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be that we're trying to tap into the power of the dragon somehow that's inside of us, right?
Right, okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
So we could do it that way, that like, it doesn't have to be called Arcanist, but we do get a 5th attunement like Arcanist that only gets unlocked when you tap into the power of the dragon, which we could make it so that it's whenever you swap into every attunement, it unlocks.
Okay, yeah, so we cycle through all the elements and now
it's open and it's dragon magic. Kind of like the dragon banner, only not as insane.
Okay, yeah, all right. I got you. I like that. I like that idea. So, what kind of skills would we get in there? Just kind of, I mean, they have to kind of cover any range we want, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't have to cover every range. I think they should simulate that salt spray thing I was talking about. I think they should simulate the teleport in, and then explosions of damage, and then maybe a TP back out if you really want to as well.
Mm-hmm.
Ride the lightning.
You lose ride the lightning because you're not using dagger offhand anymore. If you have
this achievement,
if you have a torch, and
all that, yeah.
So yeah, you could have like a fire ride the lightning, ride the fire, ride the flame.
Yeah, that's good. And it should have names like Starburst and Double Dragon and all those kind of big dragony things from before.
Yeah.
I like that idea, and I like the idea of giving the Elementalist a proper blink again. So they've got Lightning Flash as a cantrip, obviously, very nice, but they haven't had anything else. In Guild Wars 2, obviously...
Should it be fire-specific, though, dragon, or should it be each one taps into the power of a different dragon?
Yeah, we get 5 skills, right?
Yeah.
So it should be the auto is fiery, maybe the skill 2 is lightningy, skill 3 is watery.
But which dragon is lightning?
What do you mean? Well, they're just elements.
In Tyria, I'm talking about the actual dragons.
Well, it doesn't. You're breaking boundaries here. You're going between mechanics and you're going between lore. It doesn't really matter. In Guild Wars 1, the Salt Spray Dragons used Ride the Lightning, a lightning spell.
All right. I just kind of wanted to tie this to lore a little bit.
You wanted to tie it to the Elder Dragons?
Yeah, a little bit.
So Kralkatorrik, then.
Okay, Kralkatorrik, that's true. That's a very good point. That is definitely lightning.
He's not even really around anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how that works. That's a cool idea, though, Boots.
I know.
What if we called the Elder Dragon, and I wasn't thinking Elder Dragons on any level, but what if we get, like, some weird stuff? What if you're given, like, necromancy almost feeling stuff? Because Zaitan is you got, like, the death attunement or whatever.
I think so. All 5 skills are powers of a different dragon that we have stolen power from.
Okay, hold on. So what if you're giving them alternate elements, basically? Like, and I'm not saying you're actually replacing the achievements or anything like that, but the theming of some of these new skills is like, look, you've got shadow stuff you can play with now, you know, because of Zaitan, or maybe you've got like crystally kind of stuff because of Kralkatorrik.
Oh, wait a second. Yes. How about this? Okay, so to unlock it, you have to cycle through all your attunements. Fine.
Yeah.
But when you go into the attunement, it's based off of the attunement that you switched off of from.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but how does that tie to the Elder Dragon stuff?
Well, it's just like your fire attunement is Primordis.
You want to stick with these then? So we're still Elementalist-y, but we're...
Yeah, it's Elementalist theme, but dragon... So your 5 new skills, when you swap into this new attunement, are one of 20 different skills?
You're too crazy about adding new skills to this game, man. That's wild. You want to give them
It's still less than Weaver.
You want to give... You can't do that every time, though. You can't. We can't do this. We can't do 9 episodes of Elite Speculation where we give them like 50 skills a pop. We can't do that.
It's not 50 skills, though. Okay, look. It
is with all the torch skills on there as well. We haven't even got to utilities.
Torch is only 8 skills, first of all.
Also, can I just say the glyphs would be changing since we're changing attunements as well?
No, they wouldn't, because it would be based off of the one that you.
So you're going to cop them out, are you? Is that
yeah,
where Boots draws the line? Okay.
So that you don't have to complicate things. You don't have to complicate things.
All right. So talk me through your 20 skills. Let's hear it.
The 20 skills are based off of the one you swap out of. So you only get 8 skills from your torch, right? You got your fire, water, earth, lightning, 2 each, and then when you unlock your 5th element, your 5th attunement, it's like dragonified powers of the element you swapped out of.
Mm-hmm. So if you were in fire and now you've gone into this new one, you're Primordis.
Yeah, but it takes some planning ahead, though, because you have to swap through all the attunements before it unlocks. And yeah,
I was gonna poo-poo this bit, by the way.
Why?
I think that's too clunky. I don't think that in actual gameplay it's going to feel good.
I mean, personally. It's got to have some kind of way to tap into the heart of the dragon. It can't just be like you do it for easiness.
Yeah, I don't know for sure, but I think the whole rotate through everything and you got to rotate through all of them, and it's the last one you were in, so you got to think like 3 attunements ahead. While trying to, I feel
you want it
like...
to be like an overload, and then you just have to stay in the same attunement for 10 seconds and it unlocks for that element?
I think that could work, but I also think it's a little bit too close to the Tempest.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm giving you problems and not solutions. That's why I kept it quiet there. But yeah, I'm not sure about that element. Maybe we go back to the... It's a 3rd element, and... sorry, it's just a 5th button that you get. So if I'm in air...
It has a longer cooldown or something?
Yeah. So I'm in air, and if I hit F5, I'm now Kralkatorrik mode. Or if I'm in water and I hit F5, I'm now
And then it's on like a
Steve
40-second cooldown.
Yeah. Also, by the way, one thing I do like about this is you've got the water attunement side of it. So if Steve is a big focus of the expansion, you can really play with that, you know?
Yeah. And now, is there a reason for you to not just always stay in the dragon attunement?
Oh, I think it kicks you out. after a while. I don't think that we need a resource like astral
the
power
pages,
or whatever.
The pages on the tomes.
Yeah, I don't think we need that, but you just find some kind of kick out mechanic, I think.
Okay. Or
maybe you can only use one skill once, or each skill has ammo, and once it's exhausted, you're out.
But that's a resource mechanic. So what if they just have long cooldowns, the skills, and it's just not worth it to stay in?
Well, when I said I didn't want a resource mechanic, by the way, I just meant I don't want to clutter the UI too much. But the ammo thing is pretty baked in.
Is already
there.
part of the yeah.
Okay. I don't know about that. So I want to propose for the skills, for the dragon element skills, I want something that plays with corruption in some way. I want to be able to corrupt things.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, and that would be awesome though, eh? If you like swap into your dragon form of it actually like makes you corrupted, like into lightning form, you actually get the crystals form on you.
Yeah, they could do that. That would work visually. They could do that.
And then what else do we got? So ice, yeah, you get all icy. We already have that as an asset in game. For fire, you could probably make yourself molten.
Bit done already, but yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and then for earth,
you've got a weird thing going on with earth because Primordus is kind of earth and fire. So
maybe earth is more Mortemoth more maybe.
Yeah, maybe more earth is more Mortemothy. More naturey.
Yeah.
I mean, in game it's themed more brown than sort of green hewn or whatever, but you know that's always a weird thing with RPGs. What do they choose to do with the earth element? Is it the growth element or is it like the ground element? They're kind of separate, you know. Yeah,
well, I'm gonna start writing this in text form so it's faster. Okay, I think we got a good idea here for what we got going on.
I mean, some of the nitty gritty, like the kick out mechanic and stuff, but I think that could work, and it's especially Canthan as well, you know, because that's the main thing going on right now, right? That we got to keep them Canthan feeding.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, to be honest though, that like in the last two expansions, not everything was, you know, was Crystal Desert Feely or more dramatic.
That's true. Yeah, like the Renegade wasn't really.
Yeah,
it's weird because the Renegade
does go with something that's good.
It does feel like the Renegade fits now though because all the char stuff that's coming on the Icebreed Saga, which appended to the expansion, you know. So it's kind of weird the way that ended up playing out. At least it's a complicated, tricky one. I'm really interested to see what else you guys can fill out with this because and what people think in the comments. Because if I remember rightly, for POF. Didn't they have just one dev on the Ellie? Ellie was so complicated, and like wasn't it Carl did it all on his own? It was like some of the other devs did multiple things, and Carl was like purely on the Ellie the whole time.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, there's obviously a lot there. We'll see what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to get your votes in. Boots, have you got an idea for something you want to do next, or should we throw that to the audience as well?
Definitely ask the audience.
Okay, alright, so give thumbs up on another class you want to see, and yeah, let us know what you think. Like, I guess an elite skill, like, I was thinking maybe Starburst or something. It's got to be Starburst, Boots.
Not Double Dragon?
I don't know, well, Double Dragon's already probably a trait name for the Berserker, because that was all fighting game stuff, wasn't it? I bet that's already on Berserker, somewhere.
Yeah. Well, why don't, someone in comment tell us what the elite skill should be.
And unfortunately, I'm not inspired any further than just, it should be a big nuke or something, you know. Which is a shame, I guess.
Oh, you know what we didn't do, though?
What did we do?
What type of utility skills they are.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Do you want to borrow something from elsewhere in the game? Or do you want to craft a whole new one?
I mean...
I know what it should be. I know what it should be. I already know. It's corruptions from Necro. It's corruptions. It's got to be.
Oh, yeah, great idea.
Wait, hold on. Is that called corruptions on Necro? What's corrupt boon?
Corrupt boon is...
What classification is that?
I think that's a corruption.
Is it a corruption? I'm going to actually swap to Necro here to check.
Corrupt boon,
I'm having a brain fart here. I don't think they're called corruptions, are they?
What are they called? Oops.
Thankfully, I'm on a pretty short loading screen here. Yeah, they are called corruptions.
Yeah.
I thought I was having a brain fart. Yeah, so we take corruptions. No one else has had corruptions either. It's got to be corruptions.
It's got to be corruptions because this is the Elder Dragons corrupting you.
That means Starburst isn't the elite. It's more like a skill 5 or something in the mode because Starburst is a corrupt. I don't think that makes sense. Hey, and that puts Boon Rip on the Ellie, which is a mechanical facet that they haven't had
Okay, well,
before.
you don't have to actually have the same skills as Necro.
No, I know, but you know, there's probably going to be some kind of boon removal. You wouldn't make that argument about the Spellbreaker.
Fair enough. Okay.
Alright.
All right. No, corruptions is definitely. It is corruptions. Corruptions.
Brilliant. So there you have it. We made the Drake car. I really want to hear what other concepts people had, you know, even from a very top level. And I think Torch is a good guess for us, but I bet people have got some other ideas on some of the other weapons. Special shout out to the... Yeah, I know. You're going to mention the Trident, right?
No, the Trident's fine. I really want Hammer, but I know that last time I did an Elite Speculation with you for Ellie, I did the Hammer. And,
okay. Well, look, there you go. That's a nice little segue out. You guys can check out what we did 2 years ago on Ellie before POF came out and see what Boots had to say there. So, thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoy. It's been great having you on, Boots. And we'll be back for another one very soon in the near future.
Very good.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.